Hello there, welcome to the channel, Loving Life on Less. One of today's newspapers on the 2nd of February 2023 had led with the headline, Millions default on household bills as cost of living crisis worsens. 2.3 million households defaulted on at least one mortgage, rent, loan, credit card or household bill payment in the month of January. We know 2023 is probably going to be a difficult financial year for most, including ourselves. So we're going to continue doing what we do to tighten our belts, repurpose, reuse, and stretch things out to make the most of our money. This video is some of the ways how we stretch our money. Frugal Ways number 1. Meat is very expensive to have on the menu, but a lot of people don't want to go without it, and that includes our family. So what I do to stretch out the mince we're using, we'll add grated carrot, lentils, pulses or oats to the recipe, so they still add flavour and nutrients, but not extra cost. Casserole type dishes you can bulk out with extra vegetables, and again, pulses and lentils. And you can get cheaper cuts of meat and use the slow cooker or a pressure cooker to tenderize them and make them really tasty. Number 2, when serving my daughter or her friends a glass of juice, or the husband a glass of wine, we use small glasses. We're using less of the item, but my husband or my daughter or friends don't feel like they're missing out by not having a juice or a glass of wine. We will also stretch the juice further with fizzy water, and also the same if I'm having a glass of wine, I will have half wine and half fizzy water to make a wine spritzer. Number 3, when we've got an old duvet or it wants replacing, we don't usually get rid of them. The first thing we'll do is line underneath the sheet of our bed with the spare duvet. So we've got the mattress, the duvet, the mattress topper, and then the sheet. And that really makes your bed warm and snug in winter. When the bedding and the duvet is even beyond being used as under the bedding that you can't see it, it then goes on to be pet bedding. I always put the duvets in an old sheet for the dogs because if not, the claws tend to get caught into the duvet material and it rips the duvet material and it can't be good for the claws. So we always just put an old duvet cover and stitch the duvet inside the cover. Number 4, having a husband and a daughter with a really good appetite, I always serve bread and water with meals. It helps fill them up and they can eat till they're content. Number 5, if I'm using a disposable razor, rather than get rid of the razor very quickly after only a couple of uses, I will keep cleaning out the razor, which tends to get bogged down with shaving foam or conditioner or shower gel or whatever you're using to shave with. I'll clean out the blades with a needle, then rinse the blade, give it a shake around in a jug full of water, and that razor is good enough to use for a few more times after that. I also put a little bit of oil on the blade. It stops it from rusting quite so quickly. I usually use a little bit of olive oil because I do have some upstairs in the bathroom because we use it for all sorts of beauty preparations. Tip number 6, if you like fish that's in tins that's been stored in oil, keep the fish oil. It's fantastic for putting it on rice dishes or pasta dishes, or even in stir fries. You get a real fishy flavour without having to actually have the fish. So you can actually use the tin of fish for 2 meals. Frugal Ways number 7. If you have a pair of rubber gloves that you use in the kitchen that have now got holes in them and they're beyond repairing, save them if you've got pets, because what they are fantastic for is if you put the rubber gloves on, wet the rubber gloves, and then put your hand over your upholstery or on your carpet, you'll find that the rubber gloves tend to pick up hairs, and they're really good for picking up dog hairs and cat hairs that your vacuum cleaner has missed. Number 8, we clean, descale, oil and maintain any type of machinery that we have within the house. And that's anything from your kettle, your distiller, your electric razors, your hair trimmers. irons, hair dryers, straighteners, whatever it might be, by maintaining them and looking after them, they'll last longer. Number 9. Very often, rather than go out for a meal with friends, we'll entertain at home. Not only does it work out cheaper, it's a lot more creative. We get to make some fantastic meals, we play board games, we have a movie night. David cracks out his homebrew, which is sometimes fantastic and sometimes leave the guests glad that they brought their own bottle of alcohol. Frugal way number 10. If you have to pay to have your rubbish taken away, even if it's your recycling items, find a way to reuse as much of it as you can. Food scraps for compost, old newspapers for making papier-mâché with the children, or again, you can use it for compost. You can break it down and make it into briquettes for the fire. Tin cans can be made into little lamps. They can also be made into little planters. Strips of cardboard can be used for writing shopping lists, to be used as bookmarks. You could use them as separators for items in drawers. And plastic bottles you can use for quite a few things. I have some old small plastic bottles that I put in the washing machine and use them as washing balls, and they agitate the washing as they go around. David uses the larger bottoms of water bottles that are plastic as cloches for the plants. In beginning of spring, when the ground isn't still quite warm enough and the plants need a little bit of extra protection. And we also keep some of the large 5-litre containers handy. We just have them empty and have them popped on top of a wardrobe. If there's any incidents with the water supply or there's going to be water shortages, we can fill them up. Number 11. In the UK, certainly, the later at night you shop, the more reductions there seems available on the foods. So that's worth considering. If you feel safe going out at night and you're happy to go shopping at that time, it's a good time to look for price reductions and bargains. If the items have a very short date, you can freeze them. So as long as you've got room in your freezer, most of the very short date or just out of date items are absolutely fine. Frugal way number 12. Have a collection of staple, cheap, go-to recipes that the family like. Once you know you've got 5, 6, 7 different recipes that all the family enjoy, you can start experimenting by changing around the ingredients, the cheaper ones. Take out a little bit of the protein, put in a little bit more vegetables, take out a bit of the expensive oils, putting something a bit cheaper. Whatever it is, there'll be some way just to tweak that recipe and make it just that little bit more economical. Number 13. Type free items or free stuff into Google and find things in your local area. Whether it's free food, free items for around the house, or free things for you and the family to do in the local area. We've never been so fortunate in the last 20 years to have access to the world's biggest library, very often in our front rooms, in our bedrooms, and on our phones. The internet is a remarkable resource, so use it for every bit of money saving you can do. Number 14. This is one of David's tips. If you have tinned / canned meat, when taking it out of the can, have it at room temperature so it slides easier out of the can. But then pop it on a dish and put it in the fridge for a couple of hours, because when you come to slicing it, because it's firmed up in the cold, you can cut it a lot finer and have a lot thinner slices. Frugal way number 15. To make your pizza go further, don't use a pizza cutter, use a pair of kitchen scissors. You can cut the slices of pizza easier and a lot smaller just by using a nice pair of sharp kitchen scissors. Number 16. Don't cook directly on your microwave plate. Make sure you have a plate or a dish in there as well. It acts as a line of protection so the glass plate doesn't get too hot, get too hot and contract and end up cracking. Also, when you've finished using your microwave, if you've had it on for 5 minutes, there's very often a layer of fine condensation throughout the microwave. Make sure you dry that off, so not to encourage rust, because that's one thing that happens to a microwave quite quickly. It can rust on the inside. But it's also a great time to clean, because it's basically steam cleaned the inside of the microwave. So going round with a quick cloth, just wiping it round, you've stopped your machine getting rusty, and you've also given it a quick clean. Number 17. Just like in the Second World War, when it comes to make, do and mend and clothing, become your own clothes doctor. Repair, stitch, learn to knit, learn to put buttons on that have fallen off. Do whatever it needs to do to just repair very small faults within the clothing rather than buy new. If you're really good with a sewing machine, you can actually upcycle the clothes and make some one-off unique pieces that are perfect for you and so money saving. Frugal Way number 18. Mindset is the most important thing, and whatever your situation is now, it's never too late to improve it. By one or two small regular actions each day, you can make great strides within weeks, whether it's saving up, whether it's getting out of debt. It could be getting the family used to a less exorbitant, more frugal lifestyle. Small changes are the way forward. Don't focus on the negatives, focus on the things you can do, because there's always something productive you can do that can make tomorrow a lot brighter. If you like the content of the channel, please do like and subscribe. If you have any tips underneath that you would like to add to this video, please do so. Any frugal ways you are doing to help you get through this current cost of living crisis. We'll be back again very soon with another video. Until then, wherever you are in the world, we hope you have the most wonderful day. Bye for now.